and he all of a sudden yelped and ran to me like somebody had like beat him or something.
Because she can never fucking leave him alone. It's annoying as hell.
But see, I'm the one wearing it, so we know she can't do it right.
Hey guys, we are about a minute to go. So as you're coming on, let me know what this crazy weather is doing, where you're at right now for you. I just got home from Florida, South Florida, which was like unseasonably cold the first part of the week, and then it warmed back up and was like normal. But it was really chilly. And then I guess back here in Indiana, it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained like the entire time I was gone. So I can't say that I'm sad that I missed that. So as you're coming on, let me know what the weather's like where you're at. I think it is maybe even raining right now. I don't really know because I haven't actually looked up from the computer in a minute. But I think it is raining, kind of chilly. It was chilly when I went out earlier. And then the next thing I want you to do is please send some reminders of tonight's call to the people in your organizations. For some reason, it is not muting people as we come on. So I'm going to have to check. Our persons. So, okay, Valera on here. Valera, I'm going to make you a co-host just so that if you see somebody that's unmuted and it's messing with my sound, if you could help me out and mute those people, I would greatly appreciate that. And I may grab a couple more people coming on. No idea why it's not muting people, so I'm gonna have to take a look at those settings, but probably don't have time right now or can't fix it right now, I would think. I don't have any idea why it's doing that other than we had to renew our URL and I don't know if that was what caused it. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes so more people can get on so that we can get some of this noise as people are hopping on out of the way and mute everybody. So if you notice you're not muted, like I said, we're having to manually do every one of them. So that should be fun. All right, let's look at weather really quick while we give it a few more seconds for everybody to hop on. Cold and damp, humid 73, 54, and sunny. What else? Central Florida. Negative 32 degrees Celsius? What the hell? That sounds so terrible. Negative 40 with wind chill. Loving my fireplace tonight. I can only imagine. Okay, so as I try and get everyone muted, I want to talk a little bit quickly about what I'm going to talk about tonight. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through what I'm talking about tonight. And I don't know that we're going to get to any actual tasks, but we'll see, maybe. So if you came for tasks, surprise, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advice, tips, thoughts, etc. So the topic for tonight's call is going to be, let me grab my notes so I make sure that I hit every single thing that I want to talk about. But the topic for tonight's call is going to be one of the things that I think is the most important thing in the entire world for maintaining your motivation, staying focused, and protecting your energy, which, guys, if you don't know this, energy is everything. Energy is what makes you get up and move every single day. Energy is what puts your car in motion. Energy is everything, and that's true for you yourself. So I want to talk about what that thing is, but if you were to take a guess at what you think I may be talking about tonight, and in the realm of motivation, your energy, and remaining focused in your business, what would you guess that I'm going to talk about? I'm just curious. I want to see if anybody, and there's no wrong answers here. There's lots and lots of right answers. But if you could take a guess as to what you think I may be talking about, drop that in the chat for me really quickly. I want to see if you guys know what we're going to cover tonight. Just out of curiosity. Attending events, that's a good one. But that's not it. What else? Personal development, another good one, and that's going to go hand in hand, but that's not it. Manifestation's a good one. Your why. All of these are the right answers, but this is not what I'm going to be covering tonight. Ooh, really close there with the positivity. The two that said positivity, really close. It kind of is there, but not quite. Connection, that's another right answer. All of these are right answers. Anybody else have a guess? Mindset. Okay, we're again really close right there. Anybody have another guess before I just tell you? Because it's just, I can't help myself. Accountability. Again, all of these guys, every single thing that you're saying, pushing forward no matter what, these are all right answers. But what I want to talk about in specific is something that I consider to be at least in the top 3 of all of these things, and that is how to manage negativity. Every single one of us on a daily basis is going to manage negativity. It doesn't matter where you're at, who supports you in your life. It's everywhere. It's in our heads. It's in the things that we're saying to ourselves. It's in the things that we're hearing from others. It's in the news feed that we scroll by every single day. We're going to have to deal with negativity. And so I want to give you guys some thoughts and some concepts and some tools to help you with that idea of you have to be able to manage the negativity in order to protect your energy so that your energy can be positive and move forward, so that you can keep that motivation and that focus in your business so that things aren't dragging you down with them. So when I talk about negativity, this is for everything. This is for in the groups that you manage on Facebook. I think 90% of us, if not more than that, are managing a group on Facebook. Some of us manage multiple groups where maybe it's a mom group, it's a support group. And I can tell you guys without a shadow of a doubt, it doesn't matter what the type of group is, there is negativity in there. Some of these mom groups that out there, I have left and walked away and said goodbye, never ever again. I will never join another mom group because they can be some of the worst. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And the concept I want to put in your mind around negativity and around what you're filling yourself with is, let's just use this as an example. If you were throwing a party, and now this party can be your Facebook timeline, your Facebook friends list, who you're spending your time around. It can be the groups that you manage, these support groups you're in. So imagine those things as a party you are throwing. This is your space. This is your thing. This is your baby that you created here. It's your party. And if you were to invite people into that party, again, Facebook groups, your profile, etc., and those people started walking around your house, they lit up their cigarette, they spilled their beer on your couch, they kicked over lamps and started breaking things, would you allow those people to stay at your party? Right? No. Hello? No. Goodbye. Out the door. See you later. And that is the concept I want to leave you with here in this, when it revolves negativity around the internet specifically. There's no way we can avoid it, but we also don't have to consume it, okay? So when it comes to those groups, block, delete, don't engage. If there's somebody in your life who is constantly posting this negativity, you don't have to follow them on Facebook. If you don't want to unfriend them and go down the path of why did you unfriend me, you can unfollow them. We do not have to consume it. And if you are somebody who is the person putting negativity out there, stop. You have to stop. If you're out there and you are, engaging and you're looking for something to be actively mad about every time you open your phone, if you're that person that just cannot help themselves, you have to stop. Okay, so let me check my notes, make sure we're covering everything here. So what I'm talking about in some of these realms is when you're scrolling the internet and you see something that you actively disagree with. You see something that is against your beliefs or your thoughts or all of these different things. You have a choice in engaging. And this can be in those groups. If somebody says something that you don't agree with, you have a choice here to engage or not engage. It can be a knee-jerk reaction for you to spout your opinion on a post and to participate and engage in these types of things, and to speak out against something that you see that is wrong or whatever it may be. But I want to ask you something in regards to that, and will engaging in a Facebook war make you actually feel better? Is banging out your opinions on your keyboard going to actually make you feel better? Is having it out or making a snarky remark or engaging with the negativity in any way going to make you feel better? Or is it more likely that it's going to affect your energy? Is it more likely that you are going to make that snarky remark and for 1 second you're going to go, ha, 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 ha. I said what I needed to say, boom, there it is, bam, right out there on the internet, right? And then in 30 seconds, when that person reads the response and they respond again, boom, you're going to get another notification. And what is that going to do for you? I mean, really, think about it. What is that actually going to do for your energy? Is it going to make you feel good to know that you said something and they then responded, and now here we go down the rabbit hole of we are all-out war on Facebook? Probably not. Probably you're going to walk away from that conversation and that engagement and be affected in some way, affected in your energy, affected in, I'm just not going to open my Facebook the whole rest of the day, or I'm not going to check my notifications, or just blah. It's going to make you feel blah, and it's going to affect the entire rest of your day, which is going to affect your business. It's okay to be different. It's okay that we have differences in opinions. It's okay that I believe one thing or you believe one thing, or I have one religious belief and you have one religious belief, or I have a political belief and you have a political belief. It is okay. These differences are what helps us, this friction, this being around people that are different than us can help us grow. It can help us be better. And there's just no reason where, if it is actually 100% negatively affecting your life, that you even have to engage in it at all. If you're somebody that you see something and you just cannot help but to engage, there's ways that you can do it that's going to take off some of the edge. And what I mean by that is, an example I'll use is maybe in a customer group, okay? you're dealing with a customer support group and a customer comments, or another participant of the group comments negatively on a before and after picture. Have we had that before? Everybody know what we're talking about? Somebody shares their before and after photo, and some whoever, Joe Schmo online says she looked better before, or she didn't even need to lose weight, or I don't see a difference. You know what we're talking about here, right? These things that we would say we actively disagree with, okay? There's ways of engaging that's going to take the edge off of their negativity. And this can be applied to something that's even more attacking or hurtful than something of that nature. No matter what it is, things like that are still attacking and hurtful to somebody, right? So there's ways of taking the edge off of that and sort of redirecting the conversation. And that starts with things like, here is the areas that I agree with you. Try to find some sort of commonality. But here are my thoughts on this, right? So something along the lines in this example would be like, you know, I agree, she was absolutely beautiful before. She was beautiful, she was perfect, she didn't have to change anything, right? So here's the ways I agree with what you're saying, and here are my thoughts on it. So then you add the beginning portion, and then you say, but obviously she felt as though she would look better, feel better, be happier, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, having chosen to take the products and lose a little bit of weight. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? There's ways to sort of diffuse this situation. I'm just using this as an example because it's the first one that came to mind. But I'm trying to give you some tools for when it comes to negativity, because we're going to have to deal with it. You have to have a tool for dealing with that negativity. And if you have some ways of, you know, has anybody ever not opened a message from somebody because you knew what was in that message and you knew it was going to affect your day, your energy, your motivation, your focus? Anybody know what I'm talking about here? Okay. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It happens all the time. You knew that opening that message was going to in some way change your energy. And so what I'm trying to give you guys are the tools that you can use for managing that energy, protecting that energy, and flipping that conversation, diffusing the situation, letting people know that they're heard, but allowing them to also hear you back. Does this make sense? Okay, so the next thing that I want to transition to in this same realm of negativity is, have any of you guys let me think of some examples here. Have any of you guys not posted something, not said something, not done something because you were afraid of what somebody would say or think about it? Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? Have you not posted a before and after? Have you not shared your journey? Have you not talked about your success? Something along those lines, because you were afraid. Absolutely. Yeah. You were afraid that somebody was going to have something to say about it, right? All of us have. If anybody is being honest, there's something that you've started to do, something you've started to post, something you've started to say, that there was this little thing in the back of your head, like a little twinge, that said somebody's going to have something to say about this. This is going to make somebody unhappy in some way, shape, or form, and it has prevented us from going forward with that. And we all have it. And if we are being honest, every single one of us has experienced this. And there's so many things, guys. There's so many things that we could be doing if we could just get the opinions of others out of our heads. And I shared this example, I think it was last night, with my team. And the example that I used was, take a big, beautiful, juicy, delicious bowl of your favorite fruit, whatever that is, and put in that bowl of health and beauty and all of the good things, put in that bowl just one single fruit that is disgusting and molted and wilting and dying and just covered in all the bad things. And does anybody, if you are on my team and you already saw the example, don't cheat, because there may be somebody that doesn't know. But do you guys know what happens to the other fruits when you put one single fruit in there that's rotting? What happens? Anybody know? They all rot. That's exactly right. They all rot. One single rotten fruit makes every other fruit in that bowl rot. Okay. And so I'm giving you guys this example because the negativity, the worrying, the being held back by someone else's opinion is that one rotten fruit. You have all of this goodness. You have so much to give and so much to share and so much more that you could be doing, but you're being held back by one rotten fruit. Exactly, Debbie. Everything they touch goes bad. So let me make sure that I'm covering everything here. So we get held back by those rotten fruits, and we don't post things because we don't share how good we're doing. We don't share our weight loss success. We don't share all the things that are happening because of there's somebody in our lives, whether it be ourselves or our family or friends that have a certain belief of us, and posting that would be outside of that belief. Okay, so let me give you an example. There are people right now on this call, and I believe this without a shadow of a doubt, that their friends or family do not know what product they're using or what they're doing for their life. There's people on this call right now that family or friends don't know, and they've never talked about their success. Okay, there's people on this call that because of this business, they're able to pay their light bill. That because of this business, they're able to put food on their table. That because of this business, fill in the blank. Or because of this product, fill in the blank. But their friends or family know nothing about it because they're scared. And why is that? That is because it's going to make someone else feel uncomfortable. This week I posted on my Facebook wall, you're not afraid of failing, you're afraid of them, whoever this them is for you, that voice in the back of your head that tells you, ooh, that makes me uncomfortable, them. You're not afraid of failing, you're afraid of them watching you fail. So we don't post it, we don't say it, we don't talk about it, we don't do it, not because of our fear, but because we're afraid of them seeing us fail, because it may make them uncomfortable. So what I want to tell you in regards to this particular story is you have worked so hard, okay? Whatever it is, you've worked so hard to lose that weight. You have worked so hard to run that marathon. You have worked so hard to get your business to where it's at right now. But we put ourselves in these boxes and we make ourselves smaller and we make ourselves less of what we're capable of because it could make somebody else feel uncomfortable if we do the thing that we know that we're capable of doing. We didn't just accidentally fall into a success. You didn't just accidentally lose 150 pounds. You didn't accidentally lose 10 pounds. You didn't accidentally be able to quit your job. There's a journey. There's a story. There is a path that you took. And maybe, I'm just going to throw this out there, but maybe more people, it's more likely anyway, that more people are going to be inspired by that journey than are going to feel uncomfortable by that journey. So what if you are the person meant to tell this story? What if you are the person they need to hear this from? What if you're the one they're watching to see if they're capable of doing the thing that they're scared of? What if they're watching you just to wait for their opportunity to join this thing, or to see you succeed, or to see their success inside of your success. Maybe you're the one, maybe this was your purpose, and you're not telling the story because you're afraid it's going to make someone uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Does this make sense? Does what I'm saying make sense to anybody? But true for so many. Yeah, I know. Some of this is going, like, people are just going to leave because they don't want to hear me say this stuff. But it's just true. It's just a matter of fact. And so that is a great segue into my next point, which is that if you want to be successful, I don't care what it's in. I don't care if it's this. I don't care if it's in your weight loss. I don't care if it's this business. But if you want to be successful, you are going to have to get a thicker skin, or you are not going to make it, guys. I see so many people getting spun up over things that I'm like, I just want to shake them. You have got to get a thicker skin. You just have to. Without a thicker skin, that's hard to say. Without a thicker skin, you are going to waste. I put spend in my notes, but I'm going to change it to waste. You are going to waste so much freaking time being mad about something, worried about something, scared about something, whatever it may be. You're going to waste the time there instead of doing the other things that you should be doing. You're going to spend your time crushed and discouraged, and it's just not worth it. You've got to get a thicker skin. So getting a thicker skin is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to just say, I'm just no longer going to be mad about that. And I can tell you guys that there's a time in this business that I did exactly that. That I worried so much about what I was going to post or what I was going to say, or if one of my team members was upset about something, anything, then it must be that they're upset with me, and I have to fix it, and I have to make it better. And really, it probably 99.9% of the time has absolutely nothing to do with you, nor can you fix it. So this thought of I have to fix it, or somebody's commented on something I said, I must have upset them, probably has nothing to do with you. And sometimes that criticism hurts. You know, even to this day, somebody will say something and it is my reaction to go, why did they react that way? What did I say that made them feel that way? But at the same token of it hurting, it also makes us stronger. It provides us an opportunity to listen to the things that are being said about us, or the things that people are commenting, or how they're responding to us, and take a look at those things and say, where in this is there some truth? Is there something in this that is something I can do better, that is something I can improve upon? And it gives us that opportunity for growth, even if it stings a little bit. So, what voices are you listening to? What are you telling yourself? You have to know yourself well enough to know when some negativity like that comes in, when some feedback like that comes in, when you have that fear of something, are you somebody that can handle that and take an opportunity to look for the growth in this, or are you somebody that's going to shut down? You have to know yourself well enough to know when you are shutting down, when it comes in, when it happens, and say, I'm not doing that anymore. We're done. I'm not shutting down. This isn't even about me. And I have some tools and some ideas around that. But first, I want to talk about, all these different things I'm telling you guys. It's really easy to say, I'm only going to think positive thoughts. Allie said on the call that I have to manage negativity, and so I'm only going to think positive thoughts, and I'm only going to surround myself with good things. And then when something happens and we react negatively, our next reaction is going to be, I failed. I said that I was only going to think positive thoughts, and I was only going to do positive things, and I failed. right? Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? Where you're like, I'm only going to eat no carb things. I'm going to do keto and I'm never, ever, ever having another carb for the whole rest of my life. And then you eat one donut and you've failed. You've failed and it's all over and you're burning down the whole ship because it's all over and I failed and I suck, right? So that's not true. All right. It's going to happen. The negativity is going to happen. The thoughts are going to pop up. You're going to eat the freaking donut and it's going to be okay. Right. Nothing is going to die. The ship's not burning down. It's okay. At some point you have to decide to accept that you're going to have to deal with it. Use the tools that you have to deal with it. And then choose from there how long you're going to live in that space. So this weekend, I spent time at the Rachel Hall's conference, her Rise conference, and she talks about this concept of, and it's in a book, it's by Sarah Robbins, it's called the 5-second rule. And it is basically when you are feeling these thoughts, and you can read the book, it's on Audible, you can listen to it, it's a quick read, but the concept is amazing. And it's where when you are thinking the thoughts, when you have the negative things come in, when you see a post on Facebook and something sparks I hate myself, or I'm not good enough, or somebody says something or criticizes you in some way, you have 5 seconds to deal with this and then we're done. And the concept is beautiful. At her particular conference, the way that I would absolutely 110,000% Debbie recommend the conference to anybody. But anyway, the way that she would deal with it was you have 5 seconds to get yourself out of that state, and then we're moving on. And so some of the recommendations that she had were to get a song that you can listen to that's your anthem, that gets you excited. Like tonight before I got on this call, I have a word that I picked for 2020 that has a song that goes along with it. So I made sure I listened to my song. So pick a song, get up and dance, go for a walk, change your state, do something. You have 5 seconds to deal with whatever this is that you're dealing with, and then we're moving on. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys, and that I shared this concept of dealing with negativity and changing your energy and managing all of those things and all of that, and making sure that you understood that the failure in this only comes when you allow yourself to stay in that space. There are people in my life, just like I was talking about the messages that you don't want to open. Everybody knows exactly when I say that. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's somebody that messages you that you don't want to open the message. But there's people in my life and in all of our lives that are the real form of that message. And when you get around them or when you talk to them, it's like they're like the energy vampires. They just suck like all of the life out of you and you just cannot handle it. Those are the people that when I say you only fail at growing and moving forward and managing these things if you choose to stay in that negative space. When I look at those people and I'm not having to actively deal with them, I can see from an outsider's perspective where they are living in such a negative outlook. It's like they live, breathe, move it. It's everything. It's in everything they're in. They speak it. They talk about it on Facebook, their reactions to it, the way they manage things, all of it. And they're choosing to stay in that state. And the only way that you can fail is to stay there, is to stay in that negative state of mind and choose that that's where you're going to be. You're going to have it, you're going to deal with it, and that's okay. But you can choose not to stay there. So 5-second rule, read it. They thrive. Absolutely. There are people that absolutely thrive in that state. They don't want to be anywhere else. And listen, that's a them problem, not a you problem. I have some books they could read. I could recommend some stuff, but they will only ever change if they choose 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're done with this, right? Okay. So last point that I want to talk about is, you know, I've talked a little bit about different things you can do for managing fear, for managing the negativity, all of these different things. But what I want to talk to you next is what kind of brings this full circle, and that is how to create the community that you want. And that is applicable specifically to your businesses. How to create a team of people that work all these same concepts, that build a community around the positivity, around protecting your energy, around lifting other people up. And how do we do that? How do we get there? And that's sort of my hope for 2020, is to get back focused on the community, because people will stay in a community that is built in the concepts and the beliefs that they hold themselves, and people will hold that near and dear to their hearts. They will stay there forever. So that is my focus with my team for 2020, is to get my focus back on the community and what is it that we're trying to build and what is it that we're trying to do here. So number one that I have written down for how to create the community that is whatever the concepts and the beliefs that you want to uphold are, how to create that community. And number one, and this is applicable to all of these things, whether it be the support group or the team stuff, but stop with this scarcity mindset. I see it so many times, and I don't deal with it so much in my team. I just don't. But the scarcity mindset is number one part of the problem. There is no rule book, there is no handbook, there is no anything that says that we cannot all be successful. And so I'm hoping that you are from another team and because like I said, I don't deal with this a lot in my team, but I hope that if you are within a team where that is the mindset, you are hearing what I'm saying, because there is nothing on the planet that says we cannot all be successful. So in that, the concept of my success does not in any way, shape, or form threaten your success. Your success does not in any way, shape, or form threaten my success or her success or his success. There is room and there is space in this compensation plan and in this world for all of us to have the success that we want to have. So this whole, I didn't get in early enough, or she was just lucky, or any of these things that I hear is not true. That's not written anywhere. That's a bunch of BS. No, like that has got to go. Number two thing that I have written down, and it goes right along with that, but when it comes to having new people in this business, when it comes to bringing on new, and I'm going to say team members because my team works together as a team. Nothing works if we don't all work. So we work our group together, we run our chats together, we answer questions for one another. Nothing works if we don't all work. So when it comes to new team members, I see this so often. It literally makes me want to come through the computer and shake you, Regina George. We're done with the mean girl stuff, okay? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? We are done with the mean girl stuff. It's over. This is not a movie. This is real life, and you cannot be mean to people just because they're new to the show, okay? If somebody has a question and you see it, it is not a dumb question. It is not a dumb question. I don't care if you answered it 77 times this week, somebody still has a question, okay? So there's not a dumb question. It is okay to answer questions 77 times. We're just done with it, right? Like it's not exactly, Deb. It is not high school. We've all been there, done that, all right? And this is not what we signed up for. There is nothing. Yeah, we were all new at one time, all of us. And listen, you can ask Stacy Donner. I asked that woman 2,066 questions a day, and I am not exaggerating. And what if Stacy had not answered all 2,066 of them for me every single day? What if she had not done that? What if she was like, this girl's annoying, I'm gonna be mean to her, she's so stupid, she talked to my customer, I'm gonna private message her and blow her messenger up and talk to her like she's an animal, or worse than you would talk to an animal, and I'm going to be mean to her, and she's going to quit. I'm going to tell you right now, she is going to quit. And if she quits, then how long until another new person comes along and makes that same mistake, or says that same thing, or tagged somebody wrong, or didn't update the active associate list, or accidentally messaged your customer, or didn't know exactly what rules to follow, and then the same thing happens and they quit too, and then they quit, and then they quit, and then they quit, and then you have nobody. Okay? So this mean girl, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's an automatic stress reaction, or if it's a scarcity. I don't know where it comes from, but all I'm saying is we're done. We're done with it. No more. You need those people, guys. You need that. Especially if you work as a team, you need those people to come in and love this as much as you do, and be as excited about it as you are, and be fired up and want to help and want to be a part of this, because none of this works if we don't all work. None of this works. We can't. This is a team thing. We have to work together. So if this is you, it's okay. If you've done it, if you've been there, done that, it's okay. But from moving forward, I challenge you that we're done with that. We welcome every single person that walks into this team, into this company with open arms, and there's room for all of us here. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so when it comes to team, I just want to make sure, checking my notes, I want to make sure I'm hitting everything I had. Number 3 I have down on the list is to create a space where people feel comfortable commenting or asking those questions. And those 3 things that I just talked about kind of all tie in together. But this can be applied as well into the customer groups. I can't say enough or stress enough how much selling those customer groups actually do for us. I can't express enough how much the customer's willingness to vulnerably and honestly share their journeys helps your business. And if ever there comes a time, or if you run a group where somebody has a feeling that they can't share those things, it's affecting your business. If people don't know that they're going to be loved and supported on and cheered on, and they're going to get the reaction that they need and they deserve from their post, then they're just not going to post it, because it's scary and it's hard and it hurts and it takes a lot of courage to post in those groups. And that's on the business side and on the weight loss side, but I'm specifically talking weight loss right now. It's hard to post those before and afters. I am extremely happy with where I'm at in my journey right now, but I look back at those photos of myself and it still makes me cringe to even look at it. So just understand how very real that is and how important that is for your business, and try to create a space where your team knows that when somebody comments in that group, and if they see it, there better be a comment on it. There better be a love and a post and a you rock and you're a badass and rocket girl and you're so hot and whatever. All of that stuff has to happen. Because if people don't feel comfortable commenting and you don't have that sort of a exchange, then they just won't do it. And then again, it's a ripple effect, just like with the girls, the mean girl thing, and the quitting. If that person doesn't feel comfortable, then the next person won't feel comfortable, and then the next, and it's just a ripple, and it'll spread, and then as soon enough, your group will be dead. So let's see. Okay, what am I on here? Number 4, I believe. I didn't actually put them in like order, like in a 1, 2, 3, 4 order, but I think I'm on phone number 4. If there's something in your world, we're just going to say world, that is causing you to compare yourself to something else, that's creating jealousy, that's creating the negative thoughts, that's stopping you or slowing you down in any way, shape, or form. I don't care what or who it is. And now don't go crazy. Like, don't go, okay, like Allie said, I have to remove this stuff from my life. So I'm deleting my mom, my mother-in-law, my sister, her aunt. Like, don't go crazy. But what I'm saying here is take a look at your community, and if you find yourself spending a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of wasted moments on something, it's time to go. It's time to delete it. It's time to let go. There's an old saying that says, if things aren't adding up, it's time to start subtracting. That's true here. If there is things in your life that are not making sense, if there's a person on your friends list that you are only friends with them, and I know it, you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, but you are only friends on them so you can hate on them, whether it be to yourself silently or to your best friend. I see some of you guys. Listen, delete them, okay? It is not worth your energy. If there is somebody you have on your friends list just so you can watch the train wreck, it is not worth the energy, okay? So start subtracting. Take it out of your life. For me, and I'm just going to be super transparent here. Listen, I have an online freaking shopping addiction. I had to unfollow and leave some groups on Facebook, okay? So if you guys are in some of those like bargain deal, I'm going to get this for you for 99 cents, but it's really $600 groups, and you're spending all your time in there and you're spending all your money in there. I'm not just talking about people, okay? I am not just talking about people. I'm talking about things you follow on Instagram, groups you're in on Facebook, like whatever it is that you're consuming that is not adding to your life, then it is time to, yes, time wasters, things that you are spending any kind of energy on that is not benefiting you. It's got to go. Now, at the same token, I'm not saying to remove all the joy from your life and only focus on things that keep you moving forward. Because listen, if somebody told me I had to delete TikTok off my phone, I would delete them from my life, because I love TikTok, and every once in a while, we just need a comedic break, okay? And maybe this is your comedic break for tonight. I don't know, but we do have to have some of that in our lives. We do have to have joy, but you also need to take a realistic view at how much time you are spending on that. If it is causing you to waste hours upon hours upon hours, where you're like, I'm just going to spend 15 minutes on this, and then I'm going to go back to following up on Facebook, and 3 hours later, you're still on TikTok, it may actually be time to delete TikTok, okay? So I don't care what that thing is. You fill in the blank for you. But if it is not adding to your life, you have got to start subtracting it. Okay. So there is a saying, and this is sort of what I want to, the last few thoughts I'm going to leave you guys with. And I know we didn't get into any tasks, but this stuff today, I was listening to a podcast, and it was just like it all just started pouring in, and all these thoughts. I got a pen, I started writing, and I'm like, I have got to share this with people tonight, because somebody needs to hear this. But there's an old saying that says, a rising tide lifts all boats in harbor. And so I want you guys to think of yourselves as the rising tide. Think of yourselves as the things that are lifting other people. And when you are generous with your platform, and you're generous with your praise, with your attention, with what you're putting out into the world, it's going to come back to you tenfold. So instead of that new girl that's in your downline that is so annoying with her 2066 questions, why don't you look at her with, how can I help you succeed? How can I help raise you up? How can I be the tide that lifts you? How can I promote your thing? If somebody, like, so for example, let me just give you an example here. I started working with an online trainer, and I absolutely adore her. She is like one of the bright spots in my life. I've never met this woman. I've never had an actual phone conversation with this woman, but just the way she presents herself, the presence she gives online lifts me up. The things that she posts, the words of encouragement she gives me. If I post anything, I don't care what it is, she is 99.9% of the time commenting on it, and it's something that is going to make me smile. So if you're like, I don't know how to lift somebody up, I don't know. Think about those things. Is it going to make them smile? Is it going to make their day better? Can I just take 2 seconds to comment on this in the hopes that I'm going to lift this person up today? How can I promote you? Going back to promote you. I am not afraid to promote the fact that I'm working with an online trainer on my social media, because I'm putting that out into the world. This is not scarcity. I am not afraid of losing anybody on the planet to my personal trainer, because I can provide what I can provide for them, and she provides what she can provide for them, and there's room for both of those things in the world. So when I get the opportunity to say things like body buy and I tag her on Instagram, I'm not afraid to do that, because I want to promote her. She gives me so much, guys. She gives me so much of her time. She answers all of my questions. Like I said, she is a light in my life that makes me feel good. When I talk to her, I just feel better. So be that person for somebody else, unafraid. How can I promote you? How can I raise you up? How can I make your day better? I think if we went into the world like this with our customers, with our downline members, I think that it would make so much difference in the world. And I will tell you, on a selfish end of things, you will feel so good. You will feel so good. One of the things that I always do, other than listening to podcasts, dancing in my kitchen, all of those things, when I'm having a moment, when I'm having a bad day, one of the things I will do is I will scroll through Facebook and actively and intentionally, those are the key words there, actively and intentionally look for things that I can comment on that may make somebody else feel better. And it never, ever, ever, ever fails. 100% of the time, when I've done that, when I've spent even just 10 minutes doing that, I will walk away from my phone and whatever just had me upset and kicking and screaming, and I will feel better. Your business will grow from that. I will tell you that will be good for you and your soul individually, and it will be good for your business. Your business will grow. Your people will want to be around you. You want to talk about a retention program? Spend some freaking time making other people feel good. Let me say it again for those that maybe didn't listen. You want to make your business grow. Spend some time making other people feel good. Make them want to work with you. Make them want to be around you. You don't have to be an expert in anything, in fitness, in nutrition, in any of the other realms that surround the industry that we're in. If you make people feel good, your business will grow. If you look for people to raise up, if you look for the good and the positivity in the world, you're going to feel better, and they're going to feel better, and the whole world's going to feel better, and you're going to have created exactly what we're talking about right now, which is creating the community that you need, the community that you want to see, the community that you are actively searching for. Create it yourself. With your customers, with your team, with your downline members. And I'm preaching to myself as much as I am anybody else, because like I said, this is my focus for 2020, is to create this, to focus on this, to put my energy here. So last thought, and then I'm going to take any questions or thoughts or anything that anybody may have. I want to leave you with this. It's the only difference between somebody who is successful and unsuccessful is that they were afraid and they did it anyway. They had somebody be negative with them. They had somebody not support them, and they did it anyway. And they got knocked down, and then they got up, and they dealt with somebody else's crap, and they got up, and they kept moving. And that is the only difference here. So when you are looking at all of this stuff, we talked about negativity, we talked about fear, we talked about how to take those things and create the world that you want to live in. And that is how I would sum it up. Get up and go again. Get up and go again. Do it again. Try again. Don't be afraid. Get up and go again. Okay? So that's my last thought for tonight. And does anybody else have anything to add? I see lots of comments here. And I haven't had a chance. As a business owner, we should always be lifting each other up daily. I love that. Yeah. So I have a couple examples of that there, lifting one another up daily, that I can use right now, actually, from this weekend. So, this is a good one. So I was at Target. I don't know. You remember when I was talking about eliminating the things that you waste time on? I've got to stop going to Target. It is like a black hole of spending way too much money. But I was at Target, and there was the lady behind the counter, and she was this really pretty tall lady, and she had on this beautiful red lipstick and this red outfit, and it just like her skin tone, and it was so pretty. But she was so upset over something, and you could just tell. She took everything and she was like slamming it down, and then she'd bag it, and then she'd take it and slam it down and bag it. And I said to her, that color looks really beautiful on you in line at Target. And it was, within seconds, I could see her entire demeanor change. Her entire demeanor. She went from taking and slamming and taking and slamming to taking her time. And she asked me how my day was, and her entire demeanor changed. And so that's one example of lifting somebody else up, taking 2 seconds. It didn't take anything away from me for me to tell her that that color was beautiful on her. Second example, we were, this is kind of a funny one. Most of you guys know about my podcast that I have with 2 of the other leaders and the whole A3 Life Inc. thing that we're doing. But we had an opportunity at the end of the Rise conference for the 3 of us that are the owners of A3 Life Inc. and then our social media manager. Actually, for one time, we all live on different parts of the country, to actually sit down together, and we had a 2020 business meeting about goals and core values and different things for the business. And so we got down a chance to sit down over dinner, actually, because we're like, let's just make this make sense and eat dinner, like do 2 things at once. Let's eat dinner and get our meeting done all at the same time. So we sat down to have dinner, and the waitress that came over to us, I don't know what on earth was wrong with her. But I have waited tables. I waited tables for 6 years, and I know that the fastest way to get a shit tip is to treat your customers like you have had a bad day. Okay? Like, I don't know what happened to this girl. I don't know if the table before us really gave her a hard time. I don't know if her dog died. I don't know what happened, but she was having a bad day. And it was one of those situations, I'm sure that we all have been in, where it was kind of like, I have a question about this thing, and she kind of just looked at you for about, like cock your head, and you just kind of look at somebody for like 2 seconds and then answer the question. That was how she was reacting, So we asked for a drink menu, and it was like, it's right there. Okay. So this is how the whole night went. Or can I get my asparagus without butter? And she'd like cock her head and be like, asparagus without butter, and write it down. So this was the interaction the whole time. We couldn't get her to come back to the table to save our life. We had to flag somebody down because my pen stopped working. I needed a pen. And so anyway, it was a whole ordeal at the beginning. And then Alicia Yarborough said to the lady, I love your lipstick. It looks beautiful. And again, within moments, the lady, it was something in her changed. And then the funny part about this is we couldn't get her to come to the table. We were having a meeting. Keep this in mind. We were eating and having a meeting. And we couldn't get her to come to the table at the first part. And then somebody told her something that lifted her up and made her feel good and made her day. And then we couldn't get her to go away. Like, literally, we couldn't get her to go away. Like, we were trying to talk, and then she was still standing there, and it was, like, really awkward. And we were like, we're good, you know, like, thank you. And then, like, we paid, and we just had, like, a couple more things to finish up on our list of things for our meeting. And then she came over, and she's like, can I get you some to-go drinks, or do you need this, or what about that? And we were like, we're good. And then she just stood there, and we were like, do you need another compliment? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you need from us? But my point here is that it changed her entire demeanor. She went from, I'm not going anywhere near them, to I'm going to go over here because they made me feel good. Okay? And so apply that into your business. I'm going to go over here, meaning that's your customer speaking about you and your product and what you have to offer, and saying, I'm going to go over here because it makes me feel good. All right? So those are my thoughts for tonight. I know I got a little bit on a soapbox, but I thought it was something that somebody needed to hear. I hope that something I said resonated with you, flipped a light bulb on for you, made you feel good, had some, whatever it may be. It was on my heart, and I got it all out because I checked my notes. So, as always, I love you guys. Thank you for spending an hour now with me. I wasn't sure that it was going to take an entire hour, but turns out I talk a lot. So it did take an entire hour. And our next one is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Regina Martin. Her last one went over incredibly. Everybody loved it. So please make sure that you tune into that one at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you on the next one.